Speak, there comes a moment in every person andapos. It's life when excuses become heavier than the work itself. The tandapos, the moment that defines everything. Most people wait for motivation. They wait until they feel confident, until the conditions are perfect, until someone believes in them. But greatness does not wait. Greatness gets up long before the world notices. Every single day gives you a choice. You can become a little stronger or a little weaker, a little sharper or a little slower. Success is nandapos, built on one incredible performance. Itandapos, built on thousands of ordinary moments when nobody is watching, when nobody is clapping, when nobody even knows you andapos where you're working. Those moments are where champions are created. The world celebrates the moment you succeed, but it almost never pays attention to the countless hours that came before it. People notice the trophy, the applause, the recognition, and the victory, yet they rarely understand what was demanded to reach that point. They don a post, see the mornings that started before sunrise or the nights that ended long after everyone else had gone to sleep. They don and dapos, witness the loneliness that comes with choosing improvement over comfort or the discipline it takes to continue when there is no guarantee that the effort will ever be rewarded. Greatness is not created under bright lights. It is created in silence, in the moments when no one is watching and no one is keeping score. Anyone can work hard when there is an audience. It takes a different mindset to push yourself when there is no applause waiting at the finish line. Those invisible hours are the ones that shape your future. Every repetition that feels ordinary, every practice that seems repetitive, every setback that forces you to start over is quietly building something stronger within you. Progress is rarely dramatic. Most of the time it looks slow, almost invisible. But every disciplined decision becomes another brick in the foundation of excellence. There will be days when you question whether your effort matters. You will wonder if the sacrifices are worth it, especially when the results refuse to appear. Those are the moments that separate people who dream from people who achieve. Anyone can stay committed when success comes quickly. The real challenge begins when hard work produces nothing but another difficult day. That is where character is revealed. Instead of searching for immediate rewards, learn to trust the process. Improvement often happens beneath the surface, long before it becomes visible to everyone else. The darkness is where your habits are tested. It is easy to promise yourself that you will give everything you have, but promises only become meaningful when they survive discomfort. When your body feels tired, your mind feels uncertain, and every excuse sounds reasonable, you discover who you really are. Those moments are not obstacles standing in your way. They are opportunities to prove that your commitment is stronger than your emotions. Feelings change from one day to the next, but disciplined actions continue regardless of how convenient or inconvenient they may seem. Most people underestimate the power of consistency because they expect transformation to happen overnight. They chase dramatic breakthroughs while ignoring the small decisions that eventually create extraordinary results. Choosing to improve by even the smallest amount every day may not seem impressive in the moment, but over time those choices become impossible to ignore. Excellence is built one decision at a time, one practice at a time, one challenge at a time. Every quiet effort strengthens your confidence because you know you are becoming someone who can be trusted to keep going even when no one is there to encourage you. When the opportunity finally arrives, people may call your success sudden or natural. They may believe you were simply gifted or fortunate enough to be in the right place at the right time. Let them believe whatever they want. Speak. Speak, they were never there to witness the sacrifices that prepared you for that opportunity. They did not see the discipline that continued without recognition, the determination that refused to disappear after disappointment, or the countless moments when quitting would have been easier than continuing. They only saw the result because the work that truly mattered happened long before anyone thought to look. Motivation is exciting because it makes you feel unstoppable for a moment. It fills your mind with ambition, gives you energy, and convinces you that anything is possible. But motivation is temporary. It changes with your emotions, your environment, your mood, and even the weather. Some mornings you wake up ready to conquer the world, while on others you struggle to find the desire to begin. If your progress depends only on feeling inspired, then your success will always depend on circumstances you cannot control. Real achievement demands something stronger than emotion. It demands discipline. Discipline begins where motivation ends. It is the decision to continue working even when excitement disappears. It is showing up when you are tired, practicing when nobody expects you to, and refusing to lower your standards simply because the day feels difficult. Anyone can give maximum effort when everything is going well. The true difference is made on the days when nothing feels easy and every excuse sounds convincing. Those are the moments when discipline quietly takes control and keeps you moving forward. The biggest obstacle most people face is not a lack of talent or opportunity. It is inconsistency. They work hard for a few days, celebrate small progress, and then lose focus when the initial excitement fades. They wait for another wave of inspiration before starting again, repeating the same cycle over and over. Meanwhile, the person who commits to disciplined habits continues making progress every single day. The distance between ordinary and extraordinary grows larger, not because of one incredible performance, but because of hundreds of ordinary days completed with relentless commitment. Discipline is built through repetition. Every time you keep your promise to yourself, your character becomes stronger. Every workout you finish despite feeling exhausted, every hour you spend improving instead of making excuses, every challenge you face instead of avoiding it, reinforces the belief that you can rely on yourself. Confidence is not created by positive thinking alone. It is earned through repeated action. When you know you have done the work, doubt has less power over your mind. There will always be distractions competing for your attention. Comfort will invite you to rest before you have earned it. Entertainment will tempt you to delay important work. Fear will encourage you to settle for less than your potential. Discipline teaches you to recognize these distractions without allowing them to control your decisions. It reminds you that every choice either moves you closer to your goals or farther away from them. Success is often determined by the decisions that seem small in the moment, but become significant over time. The strongest people are not the ones who never feel tired or discouraged. They're the ones who understand that emotions are temporary, while commitments are permanent. They have learned to separate what they feel from what they must do. They don't negotiate with excuses, because they know every compromise weakens the standards they have worked so hard to build. Instead of asking themselves whether they feel ready, they ask whether the task needs to be completed. And once the answer is clear, they begin without hesitation. Every disciplined action shapes your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who hopes to succeed and begin seeing yourself as someone who earns success through daily effort. Your routines become stronger than your excuses. Your standards become higher than your comfort. Your actions begin to reflect the person you are determined to become. Regardless of how difficult the journey feels or how long the road ahead may appear. Failure has a way of exposing the truth. It strips away excuses, challenges your confidence, and forces you to confront the parts of yourself that still need to grow. Most people spend their lives trying to avoid failure because they see it as a sign of weakness. They believe every setback is proof that they are not talented enough, not smart enough, or not capable enough to reach their goals. That mindset turns failure into an enemy, when in reality, it is one of the greatest teachers you will ever have. Every mistake carries a lesson, every disappointment reveals an opportunity, and every loss offers information that success alone could never provide. People who eventually achieve greatness and those who give up is not the number of times they fail. It is the way they respond after failure. One person allows defeat to become an excuse for quitting, while another uses it as fuel to improve. They study what went wrong instead of pretending it never happened. They ask difficult questions instead of blaming circumstances. They understand that growth begins the moment they accept responsibility for becoming better. The pain of failure becomes valuable when it is transformed into knowledge. Every challenge reveals something about your preparation. If you fall short, it does not mean your dream has become impossible. It simply means there is another level of skill, discipline, or understanding waiting to be developed. Instead of becoming frustrated by what you cannot do today, become obsessed with building the abilities that will make tomorrow different. Improvement starts with honesty. You cannot fix a weakness you refuse to acknowledge, and you cannot become stronger by pretending everything is already perfect. There will be moments when failure feels personal. You will question your abilities, your decisions, and even your purpose. Those moments can either break your confidence or strengthen your determination. The choice belongs to you. Instead of allowing disappointment to define your identity, allow it to refine your character. Separate your performance from your potential. A bad result does not mean you are incapable. It simply means there is still work to be done, and work is something that can always be controlled. Fear of failure keeps countless people trapped in the same place for years. They refuse to take risks because they are worried about making mistakes in front of others. They wait until they believe they are perfect before they begin, never realizing that perfection is impossible without first experiencing failure. Every expert was once a beginner. Every champion once struggled with the basics. Every remarkable achievement was built on countless imperfect attempts that slowly evolved into mastery through persistence and relentless effort. Failure also teaches resilience. It forces you to discover strength you never knew you possessed. When things become difficult, you learn whether your commitment is based on convenience or conviction. Anyone can stay positive when everything goes according to plan. Real character appears when the outcome is uncertain and the obstacles continue to grow. Those are the moments that shape your mindset, sharpen your discipline, and prepare you for challenges that would have overwhelmed the version of you who existed before. Never allow one setback to become the final chapter of your story. Every defeat is temporary unless you decide to stop moving forward. Learn from every mistake with complete honesty, adjust your approach with complete commitment, and return with greater focus than before. The people who inspire the world are not remembered because they never failed. They are remembered because they refuse to let failure become the reason they stop chasing excellence, choosing instead to transform every obstacle into another opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, more disciplined, and more prepared for the challenges still waiting ahead. One of the biggest mistakes people make is measuring their progress against someone else's success. They spend more time watching others than improving themselves. Every achievement they see becomes a reason to feel discouraged instead of inspired. They compare their beginning to someone else's years of experience, their first attempt to another person's thousandth repetition, and their private struggles to someone else's public victories. That comparison steals focus, drains confidence, and shifts attention away from the only competition that truly matters, the person you were yesterday. Your journey is unique because your challenges, experiences, strengths, and weaknesses are different from everyone else's. No two people start from the same place or walk the same path. Comparing yourself to someone who has lived a completely different life creates unrealistic expectations and unnecessary pressure. Instead of asking why someone else is further ahead, ask whether you are making progress from where you started. Even the smallest improvement becomes meaningful when it moves you closer to your own potential. Real growth happens when you become obsessed with personal development instead of external validation. Every day gives you an opportunity to become a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little more disciplined than you were the day before. Those improvements may seem insignificant on their own, but they compound over time. Small victories repeated consistently create extraordinary results. One extra hour of focused work, one additional lesson learned, one better decision. one healthier habit, and one more challenge accepted all contribute to building a stronger version of yourself. There will always be someone faster, stronger, smarter, or more experienced than you. That reality should never discourage you because your goal is not to become someone else. Your goal is to maximize everything that you are capable of becoming. Chasing another person's impulse path often leads you away from your own purpose. The energy you spend trying to imitate others could be invested in mastering your own strengths and eliminating your own weaknesses. Excellence is not about becoming identical to someone you admire. It is about discovering the highest version of yourself through relentless effort. Every day presents countless opportunities to improve. Sometimes progress comes through major breakthroughs, but more often it comes through small corrections. Maybe today you communicate more effectively than yesterday. Maybe you recover faster after making a mistake. Maybe you stay focused a little longer or maintain discipline when distractions appear. These moments may never receive applause, but they are shaping the habits that eventually define your future. Consistent self-improvement creates confidence because you begin to trust your ability to grow regardless of the challenges ahead. Your past should become your standard of comparison. Look back not to regret what you failed to accomplish, but to recognize how much you have learned and how much stronger you have become. Every obstacle you overcame added experience. Every difficult decision strengthened your character. Every setback taught lessons that prepared you for greater responsibilities. When you compare to Dianthapos's version of yourself with the person you once were, you begin to appreciate progress instead of chasing perfection. Improvement demands honesty. You must be willing to recognize your weaknesses without allowing them to define your identity. A weakness is simply an area waiting for disciplined attention. Instead of hiding from uncomfortable truths, confront them with determination. Speak. Replace excuses with action. Replace doubt with preparation. And replace hesitation with consistent effort. The person you become tomorrow depends on the choices you make today, not on the achievements of anyone else. The strongest competitors understand that the greatest battle is fought within. It is the battle against laziness, fear, inconsistency, distraction, and self-doubt. Winning that battle every single day creates a mindset that cannot be shaken by comparison or temporary setbacks. Each morning becomes another opportunity to raise your own standard, sharpen your skills, strengthen your discipline, and prove that the only person you are committed to surpassing is the version of yourself that existed yesterday. A legacy is not created in a single moment. It is built through thousands of choices that most people will never notice. Every decision to stay disciplined instead of distracted, every hour spent improving instead of complaining, and every challenge faced with courage instead of fear becomes part of the story you leave behind. Many people dream about being remembered, but very few are willing to live in a way that makes remembrance possible. They chase recognition before earning it, forgetting that true respect is the result of relentless commitment rather than temporary success. Relentless excellence begins with raising your personal standards. It means refusing to settle for work that is merely good enough. It means understanding that the greatest competition is not against another person, but against your own potential. Every day presents an opportunity to improve your craft, sharpen your mindset, and strengthen your discipline. When you choose excellence consistently, ordinary habits slowly transform into extraordinary results. Excellence is not something you occasionally perform. It becomes the way you approach every responsibility, every challenge, and every opportunity placed in front of you. The world often celebrates talent because talent is easy to recognize. What it rarely sees is the determination required to maximize that talent. Natural ability may give someone a head start, but relentless effort determines how far they ultimately travel. Skills become sharper through repetition. Confidence becomes stronger through preparation. Character becomes stronger through adversity. Every difficult day you overcome adds another layer of resilience that no shortcut can ever provide. There will always be moments when cutting corners seems easier. You may be tempted to settle for average, because average demands less sacrifice. You may convince yourself that one missed practice, one careless decision, or one excuse will not matter. But excellence is built through consistency, and consistency is weakened every time standards are lowered. The small choices you make when nobody is watching eventually become the habits that define your future. Protect those habits because they determine the person you are becoming. A meaningful legacy is not measured only by personal achievements. It is also measured by the example you set for others. People pay attention to actions far more than words. They notice how you respond to pressure, how you handle failure, how you treat teammates, how you prepare for important moments, and how you continue working. After success, your discipline gives others permission to become more disciplined. Your resilience inspires others to become stronger. Your commitment raises the expectations of everyone around you. Never become satisfied with yesterday's accomplishments. Success has a way of creating comfort, and comfort often becomes the beginning of decline. Every victory should remind you that another opportunity to improve already exists. Stay curious enough to keep learning, humble enough to keep listening, and determined enough to keep working. The moment you believe there is nothing left to improve is the moment your growth begins to slow. Excellence demands constant evolution because every new level requires a stronger version of yourself. Your reputation is shaped long before people know your name. It is built through invisible decisions repeated day after day. Every promise you keep to yourself strengthens your integrity. Every obstacle you overcome strengthens your resilience. Every sacrifice made for a greater purpose strengthens your character. Over time, these qualities become impossible to ignore because they are reflected in everything you do, from the smallest responsibilities to the biggest opportunities. When people remember your journey, let them remember someone who refused to compromise with mediocrity, someone who chose preparation over excuses, discipline over comfort, and relentless effort over easy rewards. Let your work reflect standards so high that every challenge becomes another opportunity to grow. Every setback becomes another lesson to apply. Every victory becomes another reason to work harder. And every day becomes another chance to build a legacy defined by unwavering commitment, relentless excellence, and an unbreakable pursuit of becoming the very best version of yourself.